Hi, it's Susie. Pardon me if I keep looking over that direction. I'm trying to get used to recording this way. So this story is a group of 4 things that have been really cool experiences while I've been driving the bus. I'll start out with the Dalma. Oh, God, excuse me. That's embarrassing. Anyway, okay. So I'll start out with the Dalma story. So there's this lady who would get on my bus at different places all the time. She's foreign. I think she's like from Iraq. I'm not sure. I'm not judging. She's a very sweet lady. Very pretty, actually, too. And she has a little boy. And sometimes it's just her, sometimes her and the little boy. And for the longest time when she would get on the bus, she would have food of some sort. And she would always offer me something. And so, to be polite, I would take a little piece of whatever she was offering me. And it was her cultural foods. And it was just, some of them were good, some of them I didn't care for that much. But one day she brought me, she had talked to me, or how did that go? She had this plate of food and she was telling me about it. And she had me try this thing called a dolma. And it's like a grape leaf with like lamb and rice and seasonings and stuff wrapped up together and then cooked. And it's surprisingly good. I really liked that. And so one day she gets on my bus, she rides, and she's asking me if how much I like the dolma and whatever. And I told her I really liked it. And she got off the bus, and then I continued on my path, on my route. And then when I came back, she was waiting for me across the street. And she gave me this tray, this styrofoam tray. And it had dalmas in it. It has, I think, some rice stuff in it. I think it had a baklava. And, baklava is awesome no matter where you are. So, and I tried that dalma again. And man, it was so good. I enjoyed every last little bit of that. And so now I'm a fan of dalma, and I've looked around town to find who all has it, and once in a while I go get some. And yeah, I really like it. So, the next part is bus doilies. I'm ADHD and I have to do things with my hands. That's why I'm such a handsy talker, I guess. And so when I'm sitting still at places or whatever, I feel like I need something to do with my hands. So I started crocheting because it was a small project that I could do, just little things while I'm driving the bus. And I decided to start making doilies, as it turned out. What I'd started out to make was a granny square, but it ended up being perfect as a doily. And so I started making bus doilies. That's what I called them, because I do them on my like while I'm driving at the steering wheel. Not while I'm driving. When I'm in my seat, but I'm not driving, when I'm not going anywhere, when I'm sitting. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't crochet while I drive. I don't think that's even a possibility. No, I don't do that, but I crochet when I'm sitting. And so as it turned out, I ended up making 4 bus doilies before I got that out of my system. And so I have 3 daughters, so each one of them got a bus doily, and I got one for myself, and it was just fun. So that's it for the bus doilies. The next one is about the foxes. Lake of Nebraska, we seem to have quite the population of foxes, and it's so cool when you get to see them. It's like walking through a park after Easter and finding little Easter eggs, except for I'm behind the wheel of a bus with a big windshield, and once in a while I get to see a little fox running around. And it's so cool just to see them. And sometimes you can hear them, and I can tell you right now, I know exactly what the fox says. It sounds like a child screaming bloody murder. It is not cool to hear, but I know what the fox says. So, and the last one, service animals. So the law says, the ADA law says that people can ask you 2 questions about if you're trying to bring a service animal somewhere, aka on the bus. We can ask you 2 questions. We can ask you, is it a service animal? And what service does it provide? Beyond that, we can't ask any more questions. So if they say, yes, it's a service animal, and it provides such and such service, it's all we can do. If they say it wakes me up in the morning and that's its job, we have to accept that. There's nothing else we can do. Except if we happen to have an animal that is a service animal that clearly is not, because it's lunging or it's trying to climb on people or it's barking or growling or any sign of aggression whatsoever. If that happens, then we can put them, well, at least their dog, off the bus. Because we can't have that on there, and clearly they've told a story and it's not a service animal. But yeah, so, most of the time people bring dogs on the bus, the people that do, and they're well behaved and well mannered, and they usually just sit. I haven't had to put a person off of my bus yet for an ill-mannered animal. They can bring a cat on the bus if it's in a cage, if it's in a crate, like a little cat carrier, or a small dog can be in a small carrier too, and they can bring those on the bus without even being a service animal. But yeah, so I haven't had to kick anybody off my bus yet, or any animals or anything. So I'm grateful for that. That would be such a headache. But anyway, again, if you see me looking back and forth, it's because my screen's here and the camera right there, and I struggle to just stare at the camera part. I keep watching myself. So yeah. Anyway, what do you do? Okay. So thank you for listening to me. Try to have a great day. As always, be kind. Spread kindness wherever you can. So a little thing that you do in your life can make someone else's life monumentally better. You can really do good things just by spreading kindness. So, all right, that's my message, guys. Thanks for listening to me. You guys have a great day. Be kind. Bye-bye.